Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Lauren Maloney. We have live team coverage of local reaction to the January 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling, guaranteeing the federal right to an abortion nationwide getting overturned. Sam Israel and Michael Miller are both in downtown Burlington tonight, and Josh Morrill is just outside the State House in Montpelier. So let's check in first with Sam. He talked with a Congress member and someone who wants to be in Congress. He is in the heart of the Queen City right now. Sam?
That's right, Lauren. Well, as you can see behind me, let me just step out of this shot for just 1 second. People taking the streets in Burlington protesting the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to reverse Roe v. Wade. Earlier today, there was a march that was held in front of City Hall where Vermont protesters, people who were rallying, walked all the way to the end of Church Street, to the church at the end of Church Street, who just believe that their voices are not being heard. They believe that their voices are not being heard, and at the rally, several prominent Vermont politicians took the stage, including Congressman Peter Welch, Keisha Ram Hinsdale, Taylor Small, along with Burlington City Council member Zariah Hightower. I caught up with Vermont Congressman Peter Welch along with Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray, and they are both in disbelief over this Supreme Court decision.
It still feels dystopian. I can't believe the decision is real, but if I'm honest, we knew this was coming. The urgency now around action in Congress and doing all we can here in Vermont to shore up respect and protection for fundamental rights is so critical in this moment.
It's the first time I'm aware of in the history of our country that the Supreme Court, which is supposed to protect our rights, has restricted our rights. That's an extraordinary action by the Supreme Court.
Of course, Congressman Peter Welch is running for U.S. Senate, along with Christina Nolan. Christina Nolan reacting to this news by saying that she is opposed to the court's decision and saying that she herself would take action to protect the right to an abortion. Vermont Senator Becca Balint also saying that she was angry, sad, and horrifying. The rally is still going on right now, as you can see behind me. It is expected to go on for within the next hour, and we will, this is one of 5 rallies taking place in Vermont, including one in Montpelier, and that is where we find Local 22's Josh Morrill, who is at the scene. Josh, what's the scene looking like in Montpelier?
Thanks, Sam. I am here in Montpelier in front of the courthouse where there's a Planned Parenthood-led pro-abortion rally. Many of them that I've spoken to are very emotional that they have to go through a lot of advocacy initiatives that they've done in the past already. And even though the Roe v. Wade was overturned, a lot of these people realize that Vermont still has legislation allowing abortion. And I got to talk with the Vermont Right to Life editor earlier today, and she told me that this is really a step in the right direction.
Long time in coming, because right from the get-go, constitutional experts on both sides of the abortion debate have long said Roe v. Wade was wrongly decided, poorly written, and needed to be overturned. So here we are. And what it does, and it's very important that Vermonters understand, that Vermont has legal abortion for all 9 months of pregnancy, unrestricted, unregulated, and that the court case today changes nothing about our law.
And abortion is in fact unregulated in Vermont, so it is still legal, but multiple local politicians put out statements earlier today stating that, that including Governor Phil Scott, he ensured that the sentiment that abortion will still be legal for the foreseeable future. He said, "A woman's right to choose is a principle we will uphold in Vermont, and we in fact have prepared for this unfortunate outcome. In 2019, I signed a law that affirmed the fundamental rights of all women and ensured reproductive health decisions remain between a woman and her health care provider. That does not change with this ruling." And he continued on promoting Prop 5, which proposing an amendment change that gives all Vermonters the chance to have control over their whole body. And he continued on saying that additionally in November, Vermonters will be able to further solidify this action with a constitutional amendment on the ballot. As I've said, I'll be promoting that amendment, and I encourage Vermonters to stand up for the rights of women and do the same. Now, as you can see in the background, a few hundred people have come to the courthouse to Vermont to promote abortion rights that are still legal in Vermont again, and many of them telling me that they're very frustrated but are happy with the current laws in their home state, the Green Mountain State. I'll have more in my pillar later, but for now, let's go to Burlington where Michael Miller has more on the matter.
As you can see behind me, many people are angry with the Supreme Court's decision earlier. When I was down here earlier, I spoke with many people that shared that same sentiment.
It saved a lot of people's lives, and I think the repealing of it is going to cost a lot of people their lives.
Disappointment is the prevailing sentiment among many in the immediate aftermath of the Supreme Court's decision overturning Roe v. Wade. For Michelle Borbis, she believes her autonomy is in danger.
There's people making decisions about women's bodies who really have no business making decisions about women's bodies.
She also worries about those most in need.
I work with families that are high poverty. I have for the last 20 years. I see the impact of having children when they really can't afford it is on that family.
And Planned Parenthood New England believes the court's action could be just the beginning.
This is a human rights issue, and we should all be, this is just the first step. We can see the Supreme Court has other populations, other groups in their crosshairs, and this is just the beginning.
Among those opposed to abortion, there's praise for the Supreme Court's decision. New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik says this decision is monumental in protecting the right to life.
House Republicans are incredibly grateful for the pro-life movement's tireless efforts for decades, leading to this day to give a voice to the voiceless and protect our most vulnerable, unborn babies.
Abortion remains legal in New York and Vermont. Vermont's House Speaker is among those pushing voters to approve Prop 5.
Two things that people can do right now. Let's pass this reproductive liberty amendment and elect legislators who are going to protect people's fundamental right to abortion care.
Proposition 5 would make Vermont the first state in the nation to put abortion rights in their state constitution. Reporting live in Burlington, Michael Miller, Local 22 News.